Hey, what's up guys and gals? My name is Rick9G. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be looking at family matters. More specifically, I'm going to be highlighting bloopers from the show. Hopefully you enjoy this look at this fantastic show. I've been watching this show since they had TGIF back in the early 90s. So I saw this stuff when it aired as a little boy, and I still enjoy it to this day. Jaleel White, in my opinion, is one of the best physical comedians alive of all time. He is so good, so underrated, and if you see him normally versus the character he plays, Steve Urkel, on the show, it's just simply amazing. But let's take a look at some bloopers on this show that I think you may not have seen if you are a fan of the show. Now, season 3, episode 1. The episode is called Boom. Now, this is a great one where we have Steve and his little buddy orangutan make an appearance in the episode. However, there's also a parallel story with Carl Winslow. Now, he is, of course, a sergeant, a police officer, and they have a story going on where he is on a treadmill and it has been placed with an explosive device. So he's in great danger, but he enters the gym through these brown doors. And if you look on the left-hand side of him, right on the wall, you're going to see the shadow of the boom mic that was used to pick up all the audio for this scene. So it's something that's kind of unusual and once in a while is spotted in many TV shows, but this one's here for you to see. Moving on to episode 2 of season 3, the episode is called Brain over Brawn. Now, this is a pretty hilarious one where Carl, Eddie, and even Steve Urkel are on top of the Winslow's roof, and they're trying to make some fixings up there and a few things. This is kind of 2 bloopers in one. The first thing you will notice, eventually Eddie will go through the roof because it is weak and deteriorated. You will notice right away that you can see that there's a difference in tone and look, and it's even kind of popped out. The area where he falls in, it's made out of a different material that won't hold his weight. But the second thing I want you to know is as they're climbing up the ladder to the roof, you can see that the camera goes too far and it exposes the edge of the set. You can see kind of a black shape. It's definitely not a boom mic, but it looks like it could be the edge of the set and definitely something up there. Maybe even a light, a stage light that was used. It's really not clear, but it is something that comes into frame and is not supposed to be there. Now let's jump to episode 16, season 3. The episode is called Brown Bombshell. Now in this one, Estelle Winslow, that is Mother Winslow, the mother of Carl Winslow on the show, she is trying to let her grandkids know about the wonderful history of her husband, that is Carl's father, who passed away many years ago. He was a fighter pilot. In fact, he was a Tuskegee airman in the course of the story, and she decides to go to Eddie, that is the grandson's class, and talk about the history of her husband. She begins a slideshow showing the plane that her husband used during World War II. If you look at the plane, it's very interesting to note because she calls it a single-engine P-47.
A single-engine P-47.
Now the problem with this is that this is not a P-47. You can compare it to what is called a P-39 Airacobra, and that one you would see is very much identical. Look how skinny, I just want to point out how skinny the nose is compared to the actual P-47. This is an actual P-47. You'll see how fat and how even the cowling is very different. So they must have not had a very accurate World War II historian on the show. Now, season 4, episode 1, we see Carl and Urkel go on the show American Gladiators. It's one that you really need to watch because it's very hilarious. Now, again, they're on the roof. They seem to have a bit of a pattern being on the roof so much. But you will see this time Steve, Eddie, and Carl in the same frame. They all begin to fall from the roof, and as the camera pans down, you can actually see the blue tarp or the blue mattress that is used to keep them from getting hurt when they fall off the quote-unquote roof. They weren't really off a second story. It was very close to the ground, and you could also see when Carl goes completely off the roof, his legs bounce off the mattress and then he slides to the left. So it's very apparent that they actually hit something that's very close to the camera range. It's not down like 10 to 15 feet. Next, we move on to an episode which I am very fond of, and that's because there's a special guest appearance by David Graff. Now, David Graff played Tackleberry in the movie Police Academy, and he was fantastic in this episode as a drill sergeant. So, the story is that Waldo decides that he's going to join the army, so Eddie and Steve Urkel are going to go and pick him up, try to help him out, and they become cadets along with him. Now, while Tackleberry, that is David Graff's character, the drill sergeant, is walking across the halls back and forth, you can see that the boom mic makes an unscripted appearance during the episode, and then it quickly pulls itself out of frame. Season 5, Episode 1. The episode is called Hell to Pay. Now, in this one, Carl gets a toupee and makes him feel a little more masculine. But right in the beginning, we see Steve Urkel make an appearance in the house, the Winslow House, and you have Laura there, and they are chatting. However, if you look on the picture frame, there's a reflection of a man in a checkered type shirt. Now, this could be an actor coming in. It could also be a director, a cameraman, or someone else. But this is clearly not Steve's shirt, and so it's someone not in the shot. And this is the last one of the video, guys and gals. In my opinion, probably the most fun one to see, because this was one where Steve, that is Jaleel White, really messes it up. But he recovers so professionally and perfectly that most people didn't even laugh or catch it. But it's definitely a blooper. It comes from Season 5, Episode 10, All the Wrong Moves. Now, Steve and Laura and their respective dates go to a drive-in movie, and there's a lot of funny banter going around until finally Steve goes to Laura's truck, knocks on the window, knocks on her head, and then Steve says something and kind of fumbles, and you can see he whips his head around fairly quickly, and that causes his glasses to fly off his head, but they are attached, remember, with that band behind him, and he was able to quickly recover, put him back on, and continue with the scene almost instant. And like I said, it's due to his professionalism, the fact that he can just keep a scene moving even if he messed up. According to the dictionary, a blooper is simply an embarrassing mistake. It's often seen on television, movies, and other types of films. So I hope that you enjoy these pretty funny and pretty embarrassing things. But like I said, they're fairly small and they're really fun to spot and look at. So if you have any that you would like to show me, let me know down in the comments below, and I could feature them in a possible future episode. Also, which one of these is your favorite? I would really love to know. And if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and also hit that like button as well. It really does help me out. Hopefully you guys and gals are doing amazingly today. Don't let anything keep you down. Don't let anything make you feel any less than what you're worth, which is so much. That's very important to remember and to think about. We'll see you next time, guys and gals. Don't forget to stay positive, always better yourself, and most importantly, be hopeful.